This is Off Color Discussions. I am your host, Joe B. Sitting with me, always as ever, is my man, Billy C. What's up? No guest today. Billy and I are just going to shoot the shit, hang out, and talk about some stuff. This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Smoke Proper. Go to smokeproper.com. Use OCD at time of checkout. Save yourself 10%. Get yourself a t-shirt, rolling papers.
I highly recommend the sweatshirts, man. One of the most comfortable sweatshirts I've ever owned.
Yeah, the black one's really nice. The green one is nice, but it's definitely like a lighter material, so I can wear it in like the hotter...
Like a spring, fall kind of sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Get the black one for the winter, man. It keeps you nice and warm.
I'm hoping he comes out with some beanies and stuff, too. I'd like to get some more shit.
A toque, if you will.
There you go.
From New England.
This episode's also brought to you by Iconic Construction. If, you get your tax return in, it's this time of year.
Wife's begging you to start remodeling the kitchen.
Kitchen, bathroom.
Give them a call.
Do some tile. Save yourself 10% on the project. Jesus Christ. I'm fumbling like I've never done this before. This part's probably not fucking around with sounds while doing it. This week's also brought to you by the Beer Store in Nashua, New Hampshire. If you are in that area, stop in. Go see Mark, Chris. I forget his wife's name. Ask them what style of beer that you like, and they will be able to hook you up with something delicious.
Some knowledgeable dudes over there, let me tell you.
This week I talked to Chris, and I was like, I'm in for an IPA. He recommended the Hijack that we had before.
Delicious.
So this week I got Great Rhythms Tropical Haze, an American IPA, 6.8. It's juicy. I will say that it's kind of.
It is juicy, hazy.
It's delicious though.
It is delicious.
I'm a big fan. This week we have our sound guy.
We finally have the infamous sound guy.
Infamous sound guy that will bring up our stuff as we're going into it.
Make this a little bit smoother.
Man behind the curtain. We hope so. The intro hasn't been smooth yet.
Things can go off the rails quick, man. You got to stay on top of things.
Yes. So, first order of business, like I said, Black Mirror, I'm telling you, got to get on it. I don't want to say too much because not even just spoiler alert for you. You never know what people have seen, but I'm telling you, Black Mirror is worth it. They're quick episodes.
All right. Well, how long has Black Mirror been out? Because we basically said fuck it with the Star Wars thing, and that's only been a few months. So
this has been 3.
From what I understand,
3 seasons.
It does not follow a single storyline.
It's kind of like the New Age Twilight Zone. Like each episode is independent on its own thing with a reoccurring theme of technology.
And so that is the one reoccurring theme in all the episodes?
Yeah,
or most of the episodes?
Some like technology based. The last episode of the season, that one was good. It had a good like twist at the end.
Tell me all about it.
I want to tell you about it. It was really good. You have to check it out because I don't want to give you the shit away. Like a lot of them have been really good. I know some people were complaining about this season. I don't see why. I thought it was really good. A lot of people complained about the one I was telling you, Metalhead, that it's black and white. But I thought it's kind of like artistic.
Yeah, it gives it a nice like noir type style to it.
It was cool. But one thing that I would tell you is they had that Boston Dynamic dog robot. And if you haven't seen those things...
I have not seen this Boston Dynamic robot.
Can you slide that Google over? Yeah, pull that shit up. You're good.
New Atlas? Atlas is the name of this dog?
No, this isn't the dog, but this is the robot. But we can start with that, too. Like, if you watch that, go ahead, click on it. It's fine. There's one that jumps. There's one that I think it's him. He fucking backflips, yo. Backflips, dude.
I saw this brief little blurb about what? Whoop. That's some shit right there.
Do the backflip. Oh my god, man, that shit looks so fake.
It does look fake, but
you know that shit. Yeah, there it is, dude. We're so fucked. We're gonna give these dudes guns and AI. We're fucked.
That doesn't scare me. That doesn't scare me. What scares me is there's a video on YouTube where Sophia, the artificial intelligence, and another prototype one, they debate humanity, like the fate of humanity, like where humans are going at the rate they're at.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Which is probably 10 minutes of the freakiest shit I've ever seen. Like justifying like why humans are the way. Whoa, thing just went down. Yeah, so it's a little freaky to listen to him. And like it started me down a rabbit hole with this whole AI thing. It's scary.
It is scary. Can you bring up the dog?
Sure. So back to the whole black and white thing.
Yeah.
Are you you're not a Walking Dead fan, right?
No.
Okay, so
see, I don't want to say I'm not a fan. I've never watched it. I'm not a big fan of zombie stuff.
Okay,
and now like I feel like kind of like Game of Thrones that I'm so far behind. Like I just have no interest or the time to dive back into season. But this shit's
yeah, I've seen that dog before. I've never seen the other robot before. But so with like The Walking Dead, it's not necessarily. And I try to tell this to everybody who's never seen it that wonders like what the big deal is. They're like, I'm not a zombie fan. It's really not a zombie show. That is almost a secondary storyline to the human survival of basically what happens when humans are set back to their primitive, like, survival instincts. You know, like people turning, like which way are you the type of person that when all hell breaks loose and things go to shit, are you the type of person to help build a strong community and help keep each other safe, or are you the type that's gonna fall in line with somebody who's gonna go and take over those communities? Are you gonna be that type of person, like where your value on human life and existence is lessened by your need to be at the top of the food chain? Your compassion is gone, which is a huge theme in the show. But my point with that was the whole black and white thing was The Walking Dead, AMC released the whole first like 4 seasons again in black and white.
Oh, really?
And it's a totally different experience. Like it's a creepier, like weird, like there's a different vibe watching. Like I've watched the first 3 seasons now with the black and white version 5 times.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, well, because I started watching the first 2 seasons and then I got somebody else on it, and so I watched it again through with them, and then I got the wife on it and we watched all those seasons again. And then they released the black and white version and I watched all those again. So, but it's a good show.
Can you go back to that and then down where the arm was? Go, like if it brings up the same side column, I'm hoping to get that arm one again.
Have you seen the BMW?
So we were just talking about the arms the other day, and I was actually talking to people at work about it. I'm like, I would so just cut my arm off for a robot arm, and they're like,
well,
what is wrong with you?
Is that the nanotechnology stuff that? I think it's like a nanotechnology stuff that they're working on. It's all concept stuff. Well, this is.
So, Matt, I'm gonna go and turn on the arm.
But yeah, like I think it's BMW released well, they didn't release a motorcycle, but they had a concept motorcycle.
This is the most complex robotic arm
that doesn't tip over.
You can control that using thought from the brain.
Oh my God, look at that shit's Terminator right there.
Yeah.
Or like Luke Skywalker.
Every time we invent a new tool, that changes the way we live.
I mean, that would be the one thing is like, if you're in there jerking it and all of a sudden like you're have a seizure or something and it fries into you. And then,
yeah, that's a little.
Oh, that's what's up, dude.
Outside of Baltimore, Maryland.
Back to the Black Mirror. It's in my list of shit to watch. Everybody keeps telling me to watch it. It's probably come up a few times on the show that I haven't seen it. It's there, but I got distracted. I started watching a new show on Netflix instead of that. I started watching Altered Carbon, which is good. It takes place in the future. Like it's like 200. It's about 250 years in the future from when the main character goes into deep sleep, like deep freeze. Basically the prison system. Kind of. Yeah, they put people in a cryogenic state, and then when your prison sentence is up, because so everybody has what they call stack, which is this your stream of consciousness in this.
People right now?
Yeah. So it's a stream of consciousness in this little thing, this little chip that at the point of the story where like it starts, they're already 500 years in the future or whatever. So everybody's on this chip. Everybody's subconscious and stream of consciousness is in this stack. So if your body gets destroyed, as long as you don't take blunt force trauma to the back of the neck or like you blow your head off, then you can just take that subconscious and put it in a different body. So you upload it into another body that they call sleeves. So basically what they do is when these prisoners get released, they take current bodies of prisoners that are there just basically like almost like the lowlife or transient or peasants of the world, the junkies and the criminals and all that, and they take that stack and they insert it into those bodies and give them to these people or prisoners that are coming out of prison. So you serve your sentence, you're done, you get this new body, and it will not look the same as it did when you went in. So
yeah, how weird is that, right?
It is weird.
How do they decide what kind of body you get?
It's random.
That's fun.
So like in the first 5 minutes
Where
of the show,
get the bodies from?
They're prisoners. They're the bodies are the low life people of society now that they take.
Oh, okay. So if you're a civilian out in the world,
yes,
if something happens to your body, they grab a prisoner,
right, and
they basically jack you into their body.
Right.
Gotcha.
So let's say your wife dies in a car accident.
Like free jack.
You get a free, like your wife dies from a DUI person. That person goes to jail, whatever, and goes into cryo freeze. Their body is now part of the farming. So when your wife's stack gets uploaded into a new body, she's not going to come out looking like she did when she died. Like, so, and you get a free body, but everybody else has to pay. So say your mother dies of cancer at a younger age, but you can bring her back by paying for this new sleeve. So like in the first 5 minutes of the show, the main character gets released, and the body that they give him is of like a trained military person. Like he already has the muscle memory of hand-to-hand combat. Like he's highly trained. But when his stack is already kind of like that. So he has that mental, like that memory already. So they match his body up. But one of the extras that comes out is this old, like junky looking lady that is a 7-year-old girl's stack.
Oh, what the
So
fuck?
they give him back to her parents, and her parents are like, she's a 7-year-old girl. And like, it's this big old, like this junky old lady, right? And they're like, you can pay for the upgrade, or you can just take what we have in stock. And it's like, damn, bro, that's
fucked up, man. My daughter just lost her first tooth today. I can imagine having
I saw that.
put her in some like 80-year-old broad.
She came running out.
Fuck.
So it's really good, and like it carries through. And basically the plot or the premise of the show is he's pulled out of this cryo.
I have to check it out
to solve this problem for the richest guy, like this rich dude. So it's really interesting.
I mean, I like from the trailers that I've seen. I want to see it. I just haven't had time because I wanted to finish Black Mirror. We watched. The fucking world is ending. The end of the fucking world, which that was. I mean, it was all right.
The show,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
on
I think
Netflix.
I saw that.
It wasn't bad. They're quick, like 20-30 minute episodes.
Yeah.
And there's like eight episodes per the season. So I mean, it wasn't bad. It was funny and a little twisted. But Black Mirror, I will warn you, there is some fucked up shit where you're like, what the fuck? Like, I'll give you the first episode of the very first season.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The spoiler alert is brought to you by Bickerbots.
Yes, this spoiler alert is brought to you by Bickerbot Podcast. If you don't know who Bickerbot Podcast is, check them out on YouTube, Facebook. Actually, they're not on YouTube because they suck. Well, they don't suck. They're awesome.
They are awesome.
They're on...
ugly, but awesome.
Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, any of the podcast platforms. You can go check them out. We're fans. But the first episode of the first season, the mayor gets... What is it? A girl gets kidnapped. That's like a princess to it. A lot of it's British.
Was that a problem for you to get past?
No. Well, some of the talking, I hear it. I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but I hear it.
They're talking.
Yeah. So I think it's the princess or whatever, the ambassador's daughter gets kidnapped. So the guy that has her, his ransom is he wants the prime minister to fuck a pig on TV live Or
like a live pig or live on TV?
Oh, live on TV, and they'll let her go, and so, you know, of course he's like, dude, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why don't you just give her money? Like, what the fuck? I'm gonna fuck a pig? Like, seriously? And then, you know, so like the whole social media is like obviously giving him shit, weighing in on it, and there's that whole aspect, and at the end, like, he fucks the pig. Dude, like like
he actually fucks the pig in the show.
Yeah.
Look,
I mean, they don't show like that part.
Oh.
But it's
enough to get past.
It's enough that you know what it is.
Yeah, I've noticed that Netflix, especially with this show too. And by the way, if nothing else, you'll appreciate it for the fight scenes.
Yeah, I did
the
see
star
that
Joel Kinnaman.
The guy from Suicide Squad.
From Suicide Squad, he played the FBI, special ops guy.
Yeah, he's Rick Flag.
And he was in The Falling, but he's pretty good. It's not like an Iron Fist type.
Yeah, no,
like this dude can pull off the scenes pretty well.
No, I saw that in the trailers. They showed some of the fights, and I'll take that. No, Iron Fist is horrible when it comes to fighting.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you back on that.
I know. God damn it. What else? You gonna get PUBG soon? So
I'm gonna get it.
I gotta figure out the controls. Do you already
finally
order everything, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I just ordered it from the Microsoft store.
All right.
They had a nice little bundle sale going, so picked up a new.
I'm not gonna get into the Xbox until I get the X, and then that's a ways away. I'm not.
To be honest,
no rush.
To be honest, at the pricing that they have the S's at, you could buy a 500 gigabyte S for $230, $240.
Yeah,
just that, no game with it.
Why buy a 500 gig S?
It's got a faster processor. They're like games like PUBG.
You splitting hairs at this point?
No, not really. I mean, you are between the S and the X, but between the one and the S and the one and the X, the frame rate, the processor, period.
Well, I know the X.
For the X, but the S is a good middleman if you're not ready to drop the $500 to get an X. Yeah. Because in 4 months, that's going to drop $50. You know, and by Christmas, you know, and especially after Christmas, you're getting it for, you know, 400 instead of 5. And they've worked out a lot of the bugs. One of the common problems I've been seeing in reviews is that the X's overheat because
really?
they have a slightly different internal power source than the S's, which also have an internal power source. So it's like overheating certain parts and melting things down.
I can see that.
But I mean, I think they've already put out the next wave of them where it's fixed a lot of those problems. And Microsoft, in my experience, has always been good about replacing their products or standing behind their products.
Yeah, no, I like that. I figure I'm not upgrading anything until I'm ready to upgrade all of it. You know what I mean? TV, Xbox included, and then. But I gotta get on. I gotta get chicken dinners. I'm getting. A couple of friends have been like, "You gotta get article like 3 chicken dinners."
You gotta be eating good in the neighborhood, my friend.
I know. Chicken dinner. But yeah, we'll definitely have to do some record play as we get more experience with the video capture.
Put in the comments
and
if that's what people want to see. Let's take some suggestions here on games that they'd like to see a little bit of gameplay of.
Yeah, actually, yeah, dude. Hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, or at Gmail. At ocdiscussions@gmail, whatever you need to do. Let us know what games you want to see, because I think we're gonna start playing on some shit and just messing around. Like, I really want to do like play a game and then dub like some silly audio over it, just to be
easy peasy
shenanigans and shit.
Yeah. I mean, we're so lonely that you could text Joe personally. Here, I'll put his phone number in the show notes.
I was tempted to give out
no,
this phone number is brought to you by BickerBots.
Give it to them. Give their phone number. So, what else you got?
A whole lot of stuff.
Whole lot of stuff. I don't want to get too deep into PUBG because then I'm just gonna start ignoring you and wanting to play.
I don't blame you.
It's a fun game.
Let's see. So, beard competition's up. I think we just had our update photos. We're scheduled to get them done again March 11th. And that's when we'll start picking up where trophies been ordered.
Yep, I'm aware of this.
So once I get that, we're going to I want to build a stand for it so we can put the plaque on it.
I think people are more interested to know how your progress is going.
My progress looks good. Yours is actually, I will say from the last time when we talked with Jim to now,
it's the
and actually looked at the beard.
It resembles a beer now.
It's coming in now.
Yeah,
it's coming in nice. It'll be nice for that. Well, that's you're not the only one. There were a couple other stragglers.
No, I'm pretty sure there's only one. I'm pretty sure there's only one that I'm competing with.
But if you don't know what we're talking about, go to vetscount.org/NH/events. Look for beers, beards, and battle scars. You'll see the list of 15 contestants that are
handsome gentlemen.
Yeah,
for the most part.
But they are in the competition, and this is all to raise money for veterans counts and awareness. So it's $5 a vote. Pick whoever you want to vote for. It's all there. Right now, last time I looked, was Jim in the lead? Jim might have been in the lead. But again, I haven't pushed voting for me yet because I mean, there's something there, but it's not like
I'm gonna go.
What I want.
I mean, that's you just beyond the lazy man beard.
Yeah.
Like you're beyond that. I don't want to shave on a Sunday afternoon. Like that's what you had.
That first week was very.
I'm hoping in 3 months I'm not that.
You're getting there. I mean, it's a lot better than what it was last time.
Man, I'm telling you.
Rub it down with some oils and some lotions.
Conditioners.
But then May we have our big Mario Kart tournament.
I'm excited about that.
We're getting ready. Like that's going to be a fun event at Able Ebenezer and Merrimack. If you're there, if you want to participate, registration is not open yet. But when we go, it's $20 per team. Top points for the team of 2 moves on. Winner gets 2 growlers from Able plus a T-shirt of their choosing, whatever they want. Second place gets 2 4-packs plus T-shirt. Third place gets 2 quart cans of their choice. So it's going to be a fun time raffling off some things. We got some prizes to raffle off.
I'm ready. I want to start boning up on. I'm going to have to go to Able and start practicing.
Yeah, I wonder if I can talk to Chris about letting us borrow it.
I think that gives us a competitive advantage, though.
Competitive advantage? I mean, I think we're going to
by practicing.
I'm pretty sure I'm a little dude. I'm a little worried about our little test run with the GoldenEye because Iggy was like, "Yeah, I play that shit every night." I'm like, "Fuck."
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I threw it up to the boys.
That's cool as long as I don't get matched up against Iggy.
I threw it up to the boys like, "Hey, I got to do a test run for this. Who would be down to join in? We'll do just a small GoldenEye tournament. I figure for the contestants, fuck around." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I love that. Play every night." Oh, every night, huh?
Damn.
I am not that good. Only if I can be odd job.
So, I heard something on earlier on the news today about, because I know you have kids, and at some point they're going to want to see this. And I thought it was just a perfect example of how people are overly sensitive in this country right now. Yeah. Have you heard of this new movie coming out, the Peter Rabbit?
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently there's now this big backlash because of it makes fun of people with food allergies and
it makes fun
bullying people with food allergies.
Really?
Okay. So I'll break this down.
Google that and bring that up?
Yeah.
Like
I think you can just Google Peter Rabbit boycott.
Boycott.
Yeah. So basically, I got a quick blurb of it this morning, but basically what happens in the movie is the rabbits attack this dude with blackberries, and he's allergic to blackberries, and they laugh and tease him about being allergic to blackberries as they assault him with blackberries, and in the movie, he has to hit himself with an EpiPen to save his life. So all these parents of kids with food allergies are saying that the movie is promoting bullying of food allergies, kids with food allergies. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like,
you've got to do actual work to find the best deal.
It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility as a parent to teach your kids that bullying in any aspect is wrong. Why are we wasting our time and energy in social media on attacking a movie that's made for kids?
You don't waste time or energy
so there's the thing. I mean,
all the hard work in the background.
Yes, it is up to the parent to teach them what bullying is, but at the same time, you shouldn't go around promoting it. Kind of like
you'll get the best possible price on everything every time. Like that
what
Instant Pot
Wild's
pressure cooker
point
you've had your
was
eye on
about
for a
what
while.
PJ was
Or the new
saying.
Nintendo Switch
Yes, you have the
gaming
right to
system.
say whatever
Or
you
a
want.
last-minute
Does that
wedding
mean that
gift
you
for that
should?
friend you haven't really
No.
spoken
And
to
context
since
is a
high
big
school.
point. So yes,
Because
they
with
have a
tens
right
of
to make
thousands
it.
of exclusive
And should
money
we
partners,
complain too
there
much
are-
about it? No. It's kind of you let the market decide. What if you don't want to see it because of that, then that's fine. But if other people, my kids don't have food allergies, so I'm not that concerned.
Right, but there's somebody in their schools that do.
Right. Are they going to go do that to them? No.
This is not a hotel.
Like, are you gonna go taunt a kid at your school with peanut butter just because he has a peanut butter allergy? Like,
no, but if you had a food allergy and you went to go see that movie and you saw that how they were treating you, that movie's gonna affect you differently
than
than
booked your tickets,
if it's not.
reserved
So,
your table, and sent your itinerary to your watch.
do they have a right to do it? Yes.
This is not a hotel.
Should everybody
This
like
is what
throw up
happens
an
when
arm?
data
No.
and design work
But
together.
at the same
To the
time,
point where
the
this
movie should have been the people making it should have been like
with Adobe Experience Cloud.
if it wasn't like that.
They
because
came out and apologized for it.
Yeah, well, you made it. Then you don't do shit.
well, okay.
Don't be sorry, ho. Just be careful. You know what I mean? Like that's what it.
There it is. So basically, what it is, they came out and said that they just didn't show enough sensitivity to the awareness of the problem and how big of an issue that,
But
food
aside from all the
allergies
sort of
are.
raffishness in
But-
one scene,
but at the same time,
These are
actually
parents
gang
who are
up on
out
their
there
enemy,
like
Mr. McGregor, and they hit him with
boycotting and like
blackberries.
making
He
this a
starts
huge.
choking,
To me,
has
it
to
just
get to an
yeah.
epilogue
This
for
is
a
the dude
life-saving
apparently
shot. Now that may
they-
sound
they
amusing,
assault
maybe
with
it's a cartoon,
blackberries.
but that's got a lot
but
of
he's a
people
fucking
saying
tool.
that's showing food allergy bullying.
that. Oh, so it's okay if he's a tool. Okay, so
just
now we
saying.
got to the point. Now we got to the real like criticism of
Oh,
it.
he's a fucking tool.
I don't think that we need
Mr.
to.
McGregor. He's
Let's
the
be more.
enemy.
Let's be more responsible as parents and explain to our kids, both with and without food allergies, that that's not okay.
Yes.
And then enjoy the movie that was made for your kids.
Yes.
Don't sit there and make a big stink, because now what you're teaching your kids is that if you complain enough about something and get enough people on social media to complain about it, you can get your way. So basically, whining and stomping your feet on social media gets you your way, as opposed to literally whining and stomping your feet.
But isn't that the same thing as signing a petition to something? If you don't agree
This
with
is not
everything,
hotel.
somebody goes sign this
This is pick your
petition
room on the app
to
before
get
you
this
arrive.
change.
Just
How
right
is that?
check your line.
Those are good.
Those are
This is a
typically
room that
need-
knows your favorite
right. Those are
shows,
typically
songs,
things
and
that go
pictures.
through the proper channels
This
to
is
change a
no like
law or to
symphonies,
change
sushi,
something like
and
that.
golf.
We're
So
not
we've
talking
already
about
booked your
movie
tickets,
content.
reserved you a
If you're
table,
that offended
and
by
sent
it, don't
your
go see
itinerary
it.
to
You don't
your
have to make a
watch.
stink about it.
This is
like
not a
whine and
hotel.
cry about it on social
This
media.
is what
You
happens
don't have to
when
try and
data
get
and
other
design
parents
work
whose kids
together.
might want to go see
This
it.
is an
Now they feel like shitty parents
They
because they're letting their
experience your
kids go and
business
see this.
with
Like,
Adobe
and it's
Experience
literally a 45-second scene.
Yeah.
Out of an almost 2-hour movie, you think that's the one thing that your kids are going to remember. Guaranteed there's at least 2 fart jokes that they remember before any of that in that movie. So, I mean, it just kind of irritates me.
The H&M thing.
I don't know what that is.
So, a couple weeks back,
We do a horrible
there
job
was
of
a
teaching the history of African
boy,
Americans in this country.
African
We teach
American black
slavery
kid,
and Martin
Oh, the
Luther King,
t-shirt?
and that's pretty much
sweatshirt that said,
King of the Jungle.
The fact that we
the
have to
coolest
have a
monkey in the
Black History
jungle,
Oh,
Month is an
and people got
embarrassment
offended
there
because
should
it
be
was
Black History
racist.
Year.
When really they probably the only reason why it's racist is because that's how you see it.
Yeah, it's
They
not
probably
racist.
didn't look at that. They look at I call my kids monkey all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because it's synonymous with
Yeah.
right with
In sync with.
with African American kids
Or associate.
as an insult. That's how some people took it. But, and
Yeah, but kids
got mad at H&M, and H&M fucking pulled the ad and whatever. When really, if anything, you should be mad at the parents of the kid that signed on to it if they felt there was a problem. If they didn't feel it was a problem, there probably wasn't a fucking problem.
Right. I did see this. So judging by the age of the kid, the parents are probably around our age, which is when we grew up with, not being... that racism wasn't as much of a thing in our generation growing up as it was for our parents when they were our age. You know what I'm saying? And I look at my kids today and, it's nice to see that they don't see things the way that it used to be. It's only racist if you make it racist.
Right.
No, those kids probably never had one thought about that.
Well,
Nobody.
it's not only racist if you make it racist. Some things
Right.
are when it comes to like
Who's gonna notice that though?
stereotype
If nobody else said anything, there was
African-American.
but if there was no news coverage of it, period, and you just saw that billboard, how many people would go? That's racist.
people
1% maybe?
people that are racist or have
or already in that mentality or have suffered through it. I'm not saying
Ron
racism
Howard.
isn't real. I'm
The
just
film is
saying
part
that
of
it's
Disney's
a
strategy
lot
to
of this
appease
smaller stuff like
voracious
that
Star
is
Wars
overblown in
fans
the media.
Year after
Oh,
year.
God, yeah.
I mean,
Marvel
a lot of
Studios
these
will
things
release
aren't
a new
issues
Avengers
until we
film,
make them big
and
issues.
the Black
And I'm not
Panther
saying we
will
should
get his
bring
own
major
spin-off.
things to light and try and get them changed, but something like that is, again, in line with people are complaining just because they have an outlet to complain. They have a voice.
But we're still in the infant phase of social media. Like
No. We're toddlers running full force into a wall at this point.
So I listened to this. It wasn't really a debate. It was more just a podcast with Sam Harris had on.
Only to be
I
rivaled
forget
by
the
the
guys
cast
that he had
in
on.
Ocean's 8.
But they were talking about this, and one was very like, you need to be out in life and enjoying life, and you should be giving people a reason to live that's not looking at your phone or your computer or a game. Like, you should be out in the world and doing everything, which I agree. You should take full advantage, go on hikes, go camping, do adventurous things with friends, families, whoever you can get to do it with. So that you can, one, even when it's like the struggle stuff, when it's raining out and you're in your fucking tent, like, you need to go through those things to grow as a person. But at the same time, technology is here, and it can be use it as the tool that it can be used for. Social media can be used to promote business, promote your music, your artwork, anything that you've created. It doesn't always have to be the dumpster fire that it is. The only reason why you see the dumpster fire is because that's what you're focused on. Your brains are trained automatically to look at nine negative things versus one positive thing. So you have to change your perception so that you start to see more of the positive stuff, more of the gratitude stuff versus the negative stuff. You're always going to get that 9, but you need to increase what you see besides that.
Right.
So I mean, social media, yes, again, if it's retards in control of technology can stir up masses to nonsense, that's when you need to reel it in and use it for the tool that it is.
Right. I mean, I'm a technology person. I'm way more of a technology person than an outside hiking person. But I enjoy those things too, and I'm okay with I want to detach from that stuff for the most part. I've made it clear before. I'm not a Facebook person. I don't post a lot of personal stuff on Facebook. Very rarely do I do. I wouldn't even have Facebook still if it weren't for family that I never really keep in touch with, that I like to kind of know what's going on. And this, I mean, I would have deactivated that shit years ago. It's basically just a forum for me to share funny things that I find funny with like-minded people who find them funny, who don't easily get offended by things, like who can find the humor in some of these things, which that's what I use it for. That's my outlet for it. But I could go on with my life if I didn't have it.
Oh yeah, no. It's
Twitter, on the other hand, I am off Twitter. I don't even look at Twitter. Twitter is such a dumpster fire that I think all the negativity in the world is starting to just turn into a black hole portal to hell through Twitter. Like, Twitter is just turning into the devil.
Yes and no. It depends. Again, it depends on who you follow and what you look into. Like, it does.
You can follow the leader of the free world, and you still get dumpster fire.
Right. Well, look who's the leader of the free world. I mean, come on, son.
Right.
Come on, son. I mean, but I follow like Graham Hancock, follow Joe Rogan, follow comedians to find out stuff that they're doing. I follow Bill Murray, physicist, and like Neil Tyson deGrasse. Like,
I follow him too.
There's a lot of interesting shit that you can find out if you're not looking for the negativity and the crap. You're not gonna find it.
Well, I scroll past it for the most part. Like I said, I'm not on Twitter really anymore.
It's there though, and like, you can easily, the way that the algorithms.
I just deleted like 200 people that I followed
on Twitter.
Yeah.
I just create new accounts and just go on to the next one.
Just move on. Bill Murray's a good follow. That dude's got some funny shit to say. Well, the Chive too, but Bill Murray himself, he puts out some good stuff. Like, he had my brain twisted the other day with his tweet about orange. I saw it on something else, but it was like, is orange called orange because of the color orange, or is the color orange because of the orange? And I was like, yo, what came first? Like,
let me roll up this joint real quick.
let me
and
just
figure
check this
out.
out. But no, he comes up with some funny shit. Like, I like seeing the shit that he used to put out. But again, I haven't really looked at it. But that was just one thing that I see on other outlets linked to the Chive. So,
Right. But I think a lot of it is too is you have to be able to have conversations with people and not just name call and try to shut down conversation. Even if
I don't think that can happen.
Even if it can happen.
not on Twitter. People just go at you on Twitter. Everybody's
Right.
a fucking
Yeah.
keyboard warrior when
Not everybody. See,
for the most part.
Not even like it. Again, it depends on who you're looking at. Like there's
Just people commenting on people.
Man, I don't look at them. Fuck them. Like I'm not following.
You never got caught up in the comments. Like you just click in and say, "Oh, I'm gonna read one or two of these."
More so on the forum.
150
than
of them
Twitter.
later.
No, because I go to Twitter to look at what the people posted that I follow,
Right.
and then perhaps comment on it or try to follow them. Like I told you, I had Joe Rogan retweet one of my tweets once. My phone blew up. Like I thought that shit was literally gonna blow up because it was just vibrating. Like I'm like, oh my god! Like I'm trying to shut off the sound. Like it.
Did you do it at work?
No, it was in bed. Like it was right before I went to bed. I'm like, oh, it was when the SETI, the space and what extraterrestrial whatever first heard this sound, and the headline was, "This is not a drill." Like they're really picking up shit. So I'm like, no shit.
Are you talking about the sound that?
Yeah, but I mean it was like a couple years ago.
Oh no! I thought you were talking about the new sound that they got.
No.
Well, not new, but the sound that they were talking about recently.
No, this happened before I bought the house.
Right.
Like, so I'm laying in bed and I'm like, oh shit, they were just kind of talking about it. So I hit @Joe Rogan and I fucking sent it. Well, he fucking retweeted that. And bro, dude, like my phone was just like, wah, 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 wah. I'm like,
there's nothing
oh
you
my
can
god,
do either.
we got to shut off the sound.
Well,
and then
either
just
that,
let it go.
You shut off your phone, you're just gonna get all that shit in the morning anyway.
No, you just shut off the sound and let it keep going, and then clear it out after it's done. But it doesn't have to be that way. You still have to have free speech. Like people have the right to, even if they're just commenting dumb shit, they have the right, and you got to let them be able to do that. You can't stop shutting down this because.
I'm not talking about shutting it down. I mean, personally, I'm just not. I just can't do it. But
I get that.
I think people take this free speech thing a little bit too far sometimes. Yes, you have the freedom to say your opinion or give your opinion without violence. That's the difference. Your free speech amendment is as long as you're not inciting violence. I know it doesn't say it in it, but hatred. But if you're not inciting violence through your free speech, and I think the problem with that is a lot of that, those people who invoke their amendment right of free speech, that's what they're doing. Like we have the right to do this.
But it's the ones that are overly sensitive are shutting down the ones that don't agree with what they're saying, and instead of having a conversation about it and exercising and having an argument or a debate, whether you're expressing both sides of the point, and hopefully if you do a conversation correctly, even if you agree to disagree, you're going to come to some sort of middle ground of something. But people aren't even having conversations anymore. No. They just go, well, you're a racist, or you're a
maybe
bigot,
that's why I'm so bitter to it.
You're a hater, you're a fucking fake news. Like they just shut down stuff instead of
fake
like
news even really a thing? I mean, I know there's clickbait, but like this whole fake news thing, is it only really fake news because we have certain people calling it fake news?
No, I think not fake news, but it is more very biased news. But there were some stories that were but there were some stories that were ran that shouldn't have been run because they weren't checked enough. Like it came from like The Onion, and they're CNN's quoting it out like it's an actual source. You know what I mean?
Did you hear they just had that with the Globe?
Most of us who live in liberal Western democracies
Boston?
think of it as a basic human right.
I'm not going to say the reporter's name. It's been out there enough that people, if they know what I'm talking about, who knows who it is.
The threat is not coming
from
without.
But basically, he got catfished into information saying that this person was saying that they were a representative of Tom Brady and saying he was going to hold out until he got paid this year because of the Jimmy G contract. By the way, good for Jimmy G, and I think I'm coming back on my theory that
we
he's
can circle
coming
back to
back
that a little bit.
here because that's big money for 5 years. They ain't matching that. But then again, if he gets paid, but anyways,
but we'll talk about that in a minute.
but the problem with that is a legitimate news source, old school like newspaper. For the kids out there who don't know what those are what sit in the So he gets catfished to information, runs the story without even really checking his sources, and then now they have to retract it because once it's out there, it's out there. You made the mistake.
You're digital, bro. You're not going anywhere. See, and that's just laziness on people. So people not
this
doing,
is another thing that I'm talking about. That wasn't it, but damn.
But people not doing their due diligence and not checking on what's going on. Jesus Christ.
But that's again,
dumb fucks.
That's the problem with the social media is there's such a fine line that once something is out there, once an opinion is said, whether it be valid or not.
Yeah, but see, don't pay attention to the comments, man. That's
it's not always just the comments, man. It's posts too. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I do. But for me personally, it's just I think it's going to be there's going to have to be a major revolution in the way social media is handled. I don't think that. I just think that again, we're in the toddler age of it, and you have to grow with it. Eventually, enough shit's gonna come out, and then enough is gonna be said where stuff is gonna change on its own. It won't have to be like a revolution with fucking people going, "We need change, damn it! Give me some pitchforks or some tiki torches or whatever they're doing." But I think it will evolve over time as we learn how to deal with it. There's so much information out there that I agree.
Dude, we've never had the capability to. I mean, you can look at that the Japanese, the Hiruwari. I don't know how to say it. The Hiruwari.
All right, stop butchering
or whatever. It's a satellite that's like 20,000 feet fucking into space, like, but you can see a live shot of the Earth. Yeah, a live feed of the Earth.
You hear that, flat earthers?
Yeah, everything's fake to them. See, that's a pointless argument because no matter what you say to them, it's always, well, that's fake. Like the SpaceX thing, SpaceX thing, they're like,
I was going to ask you about that next. But
how's it fake, bro? You watched it go up. There were people fucking there.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Did you see
the fucking cool as fuck?
Isn't that cool? The fucking booster rockets coming down and like landing simultaneously. Yeah. I mean, assuming it is real, but
he's done it before.
No, I know. I'm going with the fact that it's real shit. I mean, I love the fact that he took a personal Tesla too and threw it up into space.
The Himawari, like you can live stream.
Yeah.
In 10-minute photos, and it's giving you the fucking Earth. But yet people again still go flat Earth. That drives me nuts.
I know. I can't do that.
I think there's to the story of flat Earth what some people regurgitate out, don't actually do the research. I think what they just regurgitate out. Metaphorically, I understand a lot of the stories about what they're talking about.
Yes.
Where there's a balance. As above, so below. I get all that. It's metaphors. It's stories. It's you.
Yeah.
You are the other
literally.
sun. Not you are the other sun. You are the other light. Like, that's what it is.
I that's one thing. But see, it's the people. See, that's how these things become things, and that's what I'm trying to get to with the whole. Aside from the fact that nobody can, like you had said, have a civil conversation through social media, it turns into a temper tantrum.
Yeah,
and that's it's you're trying to explain to someone your point, and they just keep going no. So
I think that's why I like podcasts so much. And even like I am determined by the end of this year to have this man on here, even though it'll probably be through Skype. Dave Rubin, like, I am a huge fan of his podcast. It's a lot of, I don't want to say it's all politics, but it's a lot of being able to have conversations with the opposite side and just have a conversation, get their point of view on it, and maybe you'll learn some shit. And dude, when I first started listening to his stuff, I was so angry. He used to have on like just people I didn't agree with.
Right.
And I would get so mad. I would be yelling in my car on the ride, like, fuck you, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, just so angry. But now.
These are people with like PhDs and shit. And you're like,
God,
fuck you. Yeah. You don't know nothing.
Prager, Michael Shermer. I think Dennis Prager, Michael Shermer. Just other people that were on like the right wing, if you will, more conservatives or religious, and listening to what they're talking, and I would flip out in my car, and then like over time I'm like, oh, I get what you're doing. Like, yes, I don't have to agree with everything you're saying, but I can still hear you out, and then even still tell you my side.
Right.
And if you're an adult, you can do the same thing. Like you can hear me out, because in the grand scheme of things, we are all one, and eventually we'll figure it out. That's why they separated us. That's the whole Tower of Babel. You know what the Tower of Babel is?
No, I mean I've heard of it, but I don't know like the whole concept.
Tower of Babel. Everybody on the earth spoke the same. And, we were building the tower to go up to the gods, and he was like, no, and smacked us down, separated us, gave everybody different tongues. So now we fight.
Right.
What kind of loving God is that? Get the fuck out of here.
See that? Don't get me started on that shit, man.
I will.
I found this. I found that in the last, especially the last like 10 years, that religion is just so confusing for me, because I see why people follow religion.
Yes.
I spent a good portion of my life just believing that it was nothing but brainwashing, and then having being as growing as a person and becoming more mature and into adulthood, I start to see why people follow it, and definitely more accepting of it now. I mean my kids, like they do the church thing and all that stuff. So I mean that's funny that. That's another thing we couldn't do when I was a kid. You didn't talk about church. You didn't talk about politics. Those were two things that did not get discussed in the house. Like that's the way people grew up at that time.
Angries and fistfights, and
because nobody could ever agree.
Because you couldn't express your feelings, which what it is.
Which kind of pisses me off, because people have been calling me a liberal a lot lately. That opinion brought to you by Bickerbots. I don't consider myself a liberal, and I don't like being labeled as one just because I have some views that may be more liberal than other, but I'm also have conservative views. But nobody ever asked me about those things. They always just hear my opinion on other things that tend to be a little more liberal.
Yeah, I mean, I have issues with both sides as far as
I just want to have a free thinking.
Yes.
Like I want to have an opinion that doesn't sit on a side.
We need a free thinking party, not an independent party, because those are corrupted. Not a libertarian. Not any. We need a free thinking party.
Well, the problem with that is they don't get an opportunity in the cogged system that we're in right now.
Right. See,
hopefully this whole experiment wakes people up.
But that's when social media and stuff like that can be used as a tool.
That's a fair point
to correct stuff. Once we figure out how to use it correctly.
See, that's the problem. We don't try and learn to use it correctly. We just go through trial and error and crash our cars a few times before we get it right.
I think a lot of people are on it too, are the older generation that.
I think that is also part of it, is because now that like our parents and stuff, they're on social media. Like that's a thing for them now in their life, where for so long it wasn't, and they have a different view on the world. And I think a lot of that gets projected in the wrong way.
Yeah, they're seeing their world change, and they're freaking the fuck out. Like they're on the forum just for the town that we live in. Every time something talks about being new, like a new hotel, a new store, there are people like, this used to be a quiet small town. Yeah, it did back in the 70s and the 80s,
where there was less people,
but now it's not. You need to evolve. If you want companies like Amazon or Apple or whatever else Amazon's not.
No, I think they're going to Texas. No, I think they might.
Either Boston or was still in it.
Oh, were they?
They were down to 5. They went Boston, I think New York, Philly.
Is it Houston or Austin? One of them. Houston, maybe.
It might actually be Austin.
Well, yeah, maybe it is Austin. That's a technological area. I think that's like Silicon Valley of the South.
Yeah, basically. But if Yeah. No, but we're fucking lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So every we have evolved. You know what I mean? Like whether you look at it or not, this state, New Hampshire, needs to evolve to keep up. Yes, we still have our small rural parts that are beautiful. You can go there, go up north, see the foliage, the mountains, go hiking, and even here with construction, there's still plenty of trails to go hiking. But when you have businesses like Shaw's that basically has a monopoly on your fucking town and you can't have another grocery store here, that's an issue.
Yeah.
Like you need to evolve. You need to put younger people in there that are going to be around longer to deal with it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm still a big proponent. I think the zillennial generation needs to step up.
It's a small gap too.
It is, because 7 years isn't a lot.
The more we talk about it, that 7-year window of that mindset, I think, is really what is gonna hopefully change the course in which we're going.
I think some millennials can help.
Are there enough?
The ones that are right on the cusp.
Yeah, I mean, I know people get offended when they get labeled as a millennial, which is also another thing that kind of irritates me when people label you through that generation thing. I mean, I don't really get the point of it. Like, what's the purpose of being Gen X or baby boomer or millennial or zennial?
It's separating so you know what generation you were born in to what you grew up with. Where
I just think it's irrelevant.
People from the Gen X look at the work ethic of a millennial and don't see the same.
That's a loose term.
They're not out there grinding and sweating at the factory, but at the same time, they're on Twitch or Mixer or YouTube, and they're making more money than some lawyers. Not all of them, but some of them. If they put out enough content and the right content, they're making more money than they would at a factory. So what incentive do they have?
I mean, some of the most brilliant minds of our time right now, well, they're not from our time, but some of them are, college dropouts.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, the college degree is getting to be less and less relevant when all you need is a really good idea and you can excel at a job.
Yeah, see, I don't think it's up to Gen X. I think it's up to Zillennials to step in more than.
Yeah, but see, now, are the Zillennials officially, like, they're officially a category? We're only like 7 years, but it's officially a generation, which is weird because it's small, but.
Yeah, it's XENNIAL.
Yeah.
It's a small gap in between 77 and 83. That makes us awesome.
It does make us pretty awesome. I don't know. Moving on, that got a little too deep. It started with the Peter Rabbit thing. I apologize for bringing that up. Go see Peter Rabbit because
it looks funny as hell.
The kids look like they're excited to see it.
Yeah, dude, it looks.
There we go.
Again, explain to your kid, just don't be a dick.
Which you should have been doing before this movie.
Well, I mean, some parents should be telling their kids not to eat Tide Pods, but we had that thing.
Oh, I love the new memes, man. The juice box one. Have you seen that one? That shit's amazing. I mean, we are a pretty funny generation with our memes. I don't know.
I don't think that's it. But that's all right. Why don't we take a break right there? I need another beer. And then we'll come back, wrap some shit up. This break is brought to you by Bicker Bots.
Mic check. This mic check brought to you by Bicker Bots.
Mic check back from break brought to you by Bicker Bots.
Yeah.
So let's roll back to earlier. You had mentioned some Garoppolo, the big Jimmy G.
Yeah, man.
Getting his 5 years, but you were so short. But at the same time, see, like, here's where I think that you could still be right in a sense, is how much of that are they really going to want to pay him? Yeah, he signed for that. How much of that was guaranteed?
$93 million, I believe.
Right, so
out of the 137.
So that's 3 years.
Yeah, that's 3 years.
You know what I mean? Like, so
I mean, he got paid.
He got paid. He got.
He's not going to win a championship.
93 guaranteed, but when they start putting other pieces around him, they're going to need to pay up. And that's where I think
they have a
like,
ton of cap room.
Almost better than Mom's.
They have yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why they front loaded his contract. I think is because they can pay him all that money now, and they can spend this year, next year, and the year after in his third year drafting, putting good players around him, and then
you're gonna wait that long.
Well, yeah. I mean, it takes time, dude. They are a stripped down team. They were an 0-18 last year, I believe, when he got picked up, and he was playing basically garbage time and won all 5 of his games. Like I think he's no joke. He's a real deal quarterback. He's something that the NFL has been missing.
Down and looked at every QB in the NFL.
And yeah, it still falls into the window. I think I'm not backtracking on my theory and expectation for it. What makes me nervous is not necessarily him. It's what's going on here with Josh McDaniels staying. With Belichick already stating that he's not going to be coaching into his 70s, and he is in 65. I think he turned 66 this year. So, I mean, and you're talking now he has to start over. I mean, he is. I believe that they're trying to, with Josh McDaniels backing out, he basically burned all his bridges to get a head coaching job in the next 5 years. Like, nobody's gonna look at him after backing out in the the 12th hour or 11th hour or whatever. So
makes you wonder what he said.
Like, I don't think it was him.
No, what Belichick said to McDaniels to convince him. Listen,
according to
2 years and it's yours. 1 year. Well, no,
I don't think they haven't put out a time frame, and I don't think they actually gave him a time frame because that still gives Belichick time to do his thing. If they get a kid that he is really confident in the draft, and his first round drafting, I mean, they don't have a ton of first round draft picks in his tenure as the Patriots head coach, but a lot of the ones he has, some of them have been bust, but a lot of them have panned out. But then they get too big for their britches and want their money and demand their money, and they ship them off to Cleveland.
Or they want to play like Garoppolo and doesn't.
Well, a lot of his players were defensive players that that he drafted. People like Seymour and stuff like that, but it
was kind of a similar story
the fact that I think what they told basically what Belichick and was reported was that he told McDaniels, I want to let you into my world. I'm gonna show you everything that I know about drafting, about contract, constructing contracts and when to let players go and like what players to pick up and keep this basically pass on to his knowledge and hopefully do it better than the way Parcells did him. Like Parcells did him dirty. And if you haven't seen the Two Bills documentary, the 30 for 30 Two Bills, it's really good. It shows the
has proven himself in
dynamic between the two of them. Even now, I mean, they seem like they're getting along, but they were never friends. Like, they have. I think
Parcells is the one that told him to get Jacoby Brissett.
Well, okay, that's now. I mean, he's already an established head coach at that point.
Yeah.
I'm talking like when he first got that job, like, he brought Bill in when he was an assistant with the Giants. Then when he bumped up to head coach, he made Bill his defensive coordinator, and it didn't go well. I mean, they had one of the best, like, it didn't go well for him because none of the players respected Belichick. He was a young dude trying to run a defense, and nobody respected him. He was a nobody. And then after having the best defense in the league for 3 years running and making the playoffs and winning a Super Bowl, he got assistant head coach. And then when Parcells went to leave, they gave him the job, and he said, I don't want it. And he went off to Cleveland. And then Parcells retired right after that, which did him dirty. Like, he could have had that job, and he went off to Cleveland. His first year in Cleveland got the Browns to the playoffs, and then they ended up losing. Actually, no, they won, and then I think they ended up losing in the second round. And then, the owner, after 2 years, shipped the team off to Baltimore, and they became the Ravens. And he went to the Jets, back with Parcells. And then Parcells left again, and they said, all right, Belichick's the head coach. And he's like, nah, I don't want it. And he left.
About a year ago.
So
I don't see how Parcells did him dirty.
Okay, well,
like he tried to give him the Giants franchise.
You got to watch the whole thing because,
that doesn't.
He didn't try to give him the Giants franchise. Like he
in a way, kind of like how Belichick's doing McDaniels. Like, listen, stick around for a couple more years.
Yeah, but see, it wasn't like that.
Almost on my way out.
He took a lot of the credit for Belichick's defensive scheme.
He's the head coach.
Yeah, but he wasn't the one coming up with all of the defensive scheming.
No, but he's still the head coach. That means he still has the last say when it's run 24 zigzag left D, and he goes, "Nah, I'm gonna do the other one." You know what I mean?
Right. Like Belichick addresses that in the show. He's like, "Well, he was the head coach, and if whether I agreed with him or not, what he said goes."
Right.
You know, and just the whole dynamic between them two. There's a lot of love and respect that I didn't really realize was there, but they're not friends, dude. The dynamic between the two of them is like weird. It's very salty when they're sitting there, and they're on good terms now, and it just seems like
maybe that's just how their friendship works.
Maybe it is. I mean, it was an interesting thing, but I think that he's hopefully doing that for McDaniels, because he's not going to get another head coaching job anywhere.
Probably not
like
now.
When you back out like that?
Unless a team is like desperate. I don't think Indy was desperate, but I think if like some team gets really desperate, then and if he was available, I think they'd take him. Like, you'd be dumb not to.
If they're still a team and Belichick is still coaching the league,
the San Francisco 49ers have committed to Jimmy Garoppolo for the long term.
If there's an opportunity to bring
reports,
Garoppolo
the Niners
back,
and Garoppolo have agreed on a 5-year, $137.5 million
contract. Win a ring with
contract.
San Francisco.
When it comes
He'll
to
probably
average
come
salary
close, but I
per
don't
year,
think
the
he's going to
deal
win a ring
is
with
the largest in
San
NFL
Francisco.
history.
And he's going to want
After
to.
being
He's going to
traded
want a
from
ring.
New
He's
England to
already
San
4 years deep
Francisco
into
in
his
late
career.
November,
He hasn't
Garoppolo
played very
shined
many. He's
in
played
his
8
6th
games.
stint with the Niners.
Well, he does,
5 starts, the QB threw for over 1,500 yards,
Hey, man, rings a ring, man. Practice
while leading the Niners to 5 straight wins.
I think the announcers,
contract surpasses Matthew Stafford's mega deal in Detroit,
the
which is
broadcast
previously the largest in league history at 5 years,
I think they get rings.
$35 million.
Chris Collinsworth got a ring?
No. The guys employed by the team, the radio guys, the radio guys.
Oh, okay. Like the dudes up in the booth.
Yeah, like Sosi and Zolak. Those are the guys who.
All right.
So I think they even get rings, or they get replica rings or something like that.
United.
But all right, so with Jimmy being out on the West Coast for so long, coming back to play in New England, is he going to perform as well playing in the cold?
I think so, because right now he's in a Shanahan system, and Shanahan is boys with Belichick. When that trade went down, according to the reports, Belichick called. You know who Lynch is, right? The safety that played for Denver for so long.
Would you want to see Tebow in the XFL?
Maybe
remember Lynch?
Yeah.
Okay. He's the GM of San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah. Shanahan's the head coach, or offensive coordinator, or something like that. I forget which. I don't think he's the head coach, but Shanahan, Kyle. He's friends. His father is close friends with Belichick. Belichick called him directly. Didn't call the GM. Didn't call anybody other than Shanahan and said, "Hey, you want Garoppolo?" You know. So
it's funny that they say that we're looking at an article that says that he rejected the first attempt of the trade, but yet we only took
that was in the offseason. That was in the offseason.
Right.
Well, they wanted to keep him, and I think what happened was. I mean,
supposedly,
there's a lot of
that whole conspiracy, or not even conspiracy, but the story from ESPN about how Kraft wanted him to trade him because of Brady.
I think there's a little bit of validity to that, where it got to a point where they needed to have one or the other, and I think what happened was Kraft and I understand. I understand.
Jimmy Johnson.
You know, and for the most part. It's well known that Kraft stays out of the football operations. He lets Bill take care of that stuff, and Bill doesn't like to have his decisions stepped on. And I think there might have been a little bit of, I think a lot of this stuff has been kind of.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder, right?
Who knows?
Will Sanders
are fucking winning.
$137 million.
Does it say how many he's guaranteed right there?
Scroll down a little bit.
I mean, he's 26 years old, dude.
Oh, so he's kidding. No, it does not there. Yeah, it makes you wonder how much of that is actually guaranteed.
I think it was in the 90 million range. I think they front loaded his contract to where he gets a lot of that. Like guaranteed in the front of his contract the first year or two.
But see, that's good for him. Then.
It was 87? Okay.
87. So I'll take that. So again, that gives him in 3 years. I'll give you that he could, because doing a 5-year contract, nobody's gonna pay that out. Nobody ever pays out 5-year contracts unless they rework them in the last 2 years to say take less money and we'll keep you and sign a 2-year extension or something.
Right. Like if he plays the way people anticipate him to play and the way he's shown that he can play, if he continues on that arc, they're gonna try and lock him up before the end of his deal. A player like him doesn't normally go to free agency. If he does, then meh.
Oh, first 2 years, 61.
Yeah, and then
third
after
year.
3, yeah.
God damn.
So
I've never heard a contract like that.
That's he's always the highest paid player in NFL history.
Yeah, good for him. It's or
Johnny Manziel's trying to come back
at the same time. Yeah, because he's bipolar, so now he wants.
Well, now he's sober apparently.
Yeah, so
I think
he admitted to his bipolar.
Well, not play
and he
here,
went to.
I think if they gave him a chance, he could. He's not going to be as successful. In New England, he could be a serviceable backup. The kid's got a cannon. He just misguided in his early years and just went off the rails too soon. He's got a cannon.
See, I think you'd have a hard time having him come to New England because there's
the baggage.
But
we don't deal with bullshit like that around here.
But we had Aaron Hernandez, so that means anything that comes here is going to be under extra scrutiny versus if he would go to Miami or Buffalo or whatever.
I think he has his best chance to succeed under a coach like this and behind a quarterback who works as hard as Brady does. He's not going to get distracted with any like going out and partying and alcohol stuff, man. Put in his contract that he has to do requirements for his sobriety and shit and all that. Would be. And I bet you anything that he could play as a backup for 2 or 3 years. Yeah, maybe show a little bit of what he can do. If he goes to the right environment, and I think out of the entire league, there's probably maybe 3 teams that he would be able to be successful in.
How do you feel about Gronk possibly retiring to go into acting? You think that's a bullshit story? You think
no, it's not a bullshit story. He definitely could. Has been told that he could be an action star. He has a deal with Nickelodeon where he has like two shows, and then he does a web show for them.
Serious?
Yeah, he has a show called Crash Leads, where it's basically like ridiculousness for kids on Nickelodeon. Yeah, it's. I mean, he's not. I'm not gonna lie.
I could see him as that. He's got to be some comedic thing. I couldn't take him as a serious action star. Like,
I think if that's the reason he retires, that's bullshit. That's wasted talent right there. Like, if he's retiring for medical reason, huh?
Aaron Hernandez does kill people.
Well,
that's a bigger waste of talent.
They said he had CTE.
That's a bigger yeah.
And they're saying high school kids without even knowing, like as many minor concussions that go without being noticed or treated. Like when a kid gets his clock cleaned on a high school game and he comes up just a hair dizzy for 2 minutes, he's concussed, but nobody notices that because he's not saying anything. He just comes off the field, no problem. He's a little dizzy, but he's concussed. So I don't know. I mean,
does that end football eventually, you think?
What? Concussions? No.
For medical reasons, do you think that? Well, I guess not, because if they have fights and sports like that, like
soccer players.
Yeah,
I mean, European football, they probably have more concussions than any other sport.
Especially the women do it. I've seen
they're rough and rugged.
Hope Solo fucking headbutting people, chin checking motherfuckers.
And they're heading that ball all the time.
Ching. Yeah,
that ball hitting their head 2 or 3 times in a game. You can't tell me there's not minor concussions. But to see that sport ain't dying because of it.
Do you think? Did you ever watch Concussion?
Yeah.
With Will Smith?
Yeah.
I heard the NFL went after them to change a lot of shit.
And then they changed some of it, which I was a little disappointed with. But I think
when you're going to get sued by the
core
machine.
value of the film. I think they kept a lot of the integrity of the story and the reason that they made the movie. I think a lot of that was kept intact. I think some of it kind of got glossed over because of the lawsuit that they threatened. But look, it's a violent sport. When you sign up to play football, and I understand when you're a kid, your parents have a little bit more control of that. But when you go on to play college football, and then, you know, if you're lucky enough to play pro football, you know that your career is on a time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know that you're signing up for a violent sport. That's like being in hockey and being upset because you got thrown into the boards. Like, it's part of hockey. You don't necessarily have to fight in hockey. People don't fight all the time. Like, they skate away from fights all the time. There's a level of respect in hockey.
But they should be allowed to fight if they want to fight.
In hockey?
Yeah.
Well, no, they allow them to fight.
I know. I think like at the AHL, they're quick to stop them.
Yeah. Those
like,
younger. Well, that's because they're younger kids. A lot of those, like the minor league hockey, a lot of those kids are 17, 18, 19 years old. You know, when you're in the NFL, I mean the NHL, you're 19, 20, 21, 22, and you're getting older. I mean, but nobody gets booed, nobody gets disrespected if they skate away from a fight. There's a lot of players where their job is to be a sniper and an antagonist. Look at Marshawn.
Yeah.
Marshawn, that was his role for the longest time. I mean, I think it's getting a little bit out of hand now with, you know, his shenanigans. He's getting older, but I mean, back to football, you know what you're signing up for. You know it's a violent sport. You know that this is a problem, especially with the research on CTE. These players don't care when they're coming out. You know, yes, as any on-the-job injury, people, you know, companies take care of those things. The NFL should give them better retirement benefits, better medical coverage when they leave. But they don't. As part of a players' union, they up until recently, they don't get
a retirement.
Well, they do. They get a pension, but I don't think a lot of their medical stuff is covered. Well, I don't think a lot of it is
work it out in your.
But
what is it? Their union. So
that's a test. That's their players association.
Yeah, but what is the thing that the contract that they signed, the agreement, collective bargaining agreement?
Well, yeah.
Put it in.
They've tried. Basically, what happens is the players want something. The union wants something.
Yeah.
They say, we're going to hold out. But as soon as these players start missing game checks, because a lot of them live in multi-million-dollar homes and drive, you know, $100,000 cars and live this big, lavish lifestyle, and they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
I know people out there right now, you know, when they listen to this, are going to roll their eyes that these overpaid prima donna athletes are getting all this money. How could they be living paycheck to paycheck? Paycheck to paycheck is just living beyond your means, whether it's in the millions of dollars or the hundreds of dollars. Yeah. Living beyond your means and being paycheck to paycheck. Yes, stay out of the strip clubs. Yes, there's a lot of things you could do better with your money, but you know,
I like titties.
I mean, Gronk, I don't think he's ever spent an NFL paycheck.
No,
I think all his money has been invested. Do you know he's only made $44 million in the 8 years he's played?
Yeah, he got fucked on his contract.
I think he only makes like $6 million next year. But to be honest, with all the back surgeries that he's had, and with this new concussion thing, which I really think kind of scared him a little bit, when he got lit up in that AFC Championship game, I think that really kind of shook him a little bit to maybe start thinking about doing something different with his life. But his back injuries alone, man, one wrong tackle, one outstretched catch could separate something, and he's paralyzed. Like, he's got serious back problems. So if that's, to answer the question, if that's why he retires, I'm okay with it. If he retires because he thinks he's going to be the next Rambo or Terminator or fucking...
The Rock?
No, he is not The Rock, man. The Rock is an anomaly.
The Rock is great.
The Rock was what he was in the WE. He was an entertainer when he was a wrestler. Now, if Gronk wants to go to the WWE, by all means, man, that's a much safer way to do things. It is, because the way they teach you to do things, there's a lot less likely for you to get injured. I know you talk about the old school wrestlers and shit like that, Hulk Hogan, all them.
Not even that.
They're fucked up, but they didn't do it the same way that they do it now.
No, but
it's
even now, yeah, it is very choreographed. I can't get into it now. I kind of want to watch it, but I don't want to watch it at the same time.
Would that be the spark that gets you back into it?
Like watching
Following Gronk?
Depending on how his... Nah, man, he's just so goofy. Like, I don't know. I have a hard time taking him serious. He would almost... I like John Cena, but I think I had more of an appreciation for John Cena afterwards into his acting. The movies that he's been in have been all right.
Couple of them.
I mean, he's only done so many, right?
I think he's done like 6 or 7 of them.
But
I saw The Marine, which wasn't bad.
No, The Marine was good. He was in an episode of Psych that was funny because he's comical. But, I mean, he's also fucking massive. He was a host of, was it American Grit that was on for a while. So that, I mean, he's a really nice guy and inspiring, and he's from Massachusetts. So how do you not root for hometown heroes?
Yeah, I got no problem. I love The Rock. I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, some of his movies they're kind of...
Skyscraper looks horrible.
Yeah, like Skyscraper, I'm a little, I don't want to watch, but like even Jumanji, I'm like,
dude, that movie looks funny. It looks good, dude.
But
no, because did you see the one?
But like I like him in the Fast and the Furious movies.
No, him and Kevin Hart when he's the CIA guy, dude. Watch.
Oh, I've seen that.
Central Intelligence.
Yes, I've seen it. It's
that
funny.
Was funny as hell. Him as like a comedic, but yet still even the Rundown with Stifler.
Yeah,
like he's good when he can, because he can do the action and comedy in one. Like he's a very good entertainer.
Yeah, and he was that in the WWE. Like he was a shining star with that before he went into movies, so you knew he was going to do well. But in the
beginning. I think in the beginning it was rough for him when he first came in. But as he like changed his persona over and kind of became the good guy, it was definitely a lot different. When he was like a bad guy, and it was I can't believe I'm talking about wrestling. Yeah. When he was like the bad guy when he first came in, he was all right, but he just seemed like a fucking tool.
Yeah.
But then as he became like the good guy and developed the people's elbow and all that shit, and more of the character with the eyebrow and everything.
See, that was his shtick in the beginning. It was just kind of the eyebrow, and it was like weird looking. But he was also competing with Stone Cold at the same time. You know, like he was the star at the.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That was good shit back in the day. I don't know. I just can't get into the wrestlers now. I just watch UFC. So like, I'd rather really, dude. You missed.
It's because it's fake.
What is?
We're gonna get tweeted at like crazy.
What is fake?
Wrestling.
It is fake.
It's fake.
It's a
soap opera for men.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, we're gonna get emails on this.
They should. I don't give a fuck.
Hate emails.
Wrestling ain't shit, dude. WWE stopped being good when they went to WWE and couldn't nut up against the Wildlife Foundation. Get the fuck out of here. It's WWF. Fuck this WWE shit. It's stupid. But either way, I think that's about the time where I stopped watching.
Yeah.
Is when they changed acronyms because they got beat out by the Wildlife
Well, they
Federation.
were doing the NWO thing. What was the other? They had another like.
They had
competing.
TNT. TNT. You had the NWO.
They had like branch offs. That was like weird.
Yeah, but then they all
went back together
because of the monopoly. You can't own a monopoly unless you actually own a fucking monopoly. NFL.
Yeah. We'll see what the XFL does.
Dude,
they're not competing. I know.
No, but there was a thing. No, but there was a thing under. You don't have to look it up. That saying, "Would you watch the XFL if Tebow would play?" I'd fucking watch it.
I would too.
He's a good quarterback. I think it'd be a good start for him.
I almost just choked on that because he is not a good quarterback. The man is a dynamite human being.
He won a NFL playoff game. Not many quarterbacks can do that. Most of it was probably all defense, although he did play good offense against the Pittsburgh Steelers when they had Troy Polamalu.
Won a Super Bowl. Doesn't make him a great quarterback.
He played all right.
Tebow was not a good quarterback. The man is a dynamite human being.
He's pretty good at baseball.
He is actually pretty good at baseball. Did you hear about Russell Wilson?
He got
traded.
Yankees.
No, he got traded from the Rangers to the Yankees. He has a minor league contract with the Rangers,
and now
the Yankees have his contract. He's actually supposed to be at spring training for him.
That's cool. Good for him.
Things are rough for him in Seattle right now.
Well, because they can't fucking put a line in front of him to save his life.
The first thing people were like, "Oh, you're gonna be the next Bo Jackson, the next Deion Sanders." He's like, "No, I ain't about that right now."
No, and you're never gonna have those anomalies again. You'll have people that are good, but they'll never be like them. They were pioneers that. I think people can still do it. If you play one sport, you should be able to transition to any other sport, but you're never gonna be what they were. I mean, Deion was just a
Deion
beast.
Sanders was he had so much talent that he needed to play two sports just to kind of like that guy was one of probably the most naturally talented players or athletes. I mean, Bo Jackson was too, but I don't think his career was as good in baseball as it was in football.
Sanders?
No, Jackson.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Bo was not.
Sanders was pretty decent in baseball, but I mean his star power was football. He was able to express himself a little bit more, I think, in football. That
I think the one of the best Super Bowls I've seen was San Fran Dallas. When was it? Dion? No,
the NFC game, yeah.
T.O. ran. Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was the NFC game. T.O. ran out, put the ball in the star, and then Dion ran out, put the ball in. So fuck you. They started like scrapping. That was good shit.
Good old Deion
Sanders. Hey, look at it. Man. Look at the stats, bro. Like that's a career. 53 interceptions.
Damn. That's pretty good, man. Oh, he played until 2005 too.
On Baltimore?
Look at that shit. Yeah, because remember he got signed for 2 years. I don't think he played a full season the first year. I think he got picked up halfway through from Washington. But look at the start year. Does that say 89?
That says 89.
And he played till 2005. He played two careers for his position with two teams, Atlanta and Dallas. Like, that's the average length career of a...
And he was on San Fran for a year.
Yep. And Washington for a year. But, I mean, that's just crazy that he played two basically full careers on two different teams and still went on for another 4 years. Yeah.
Good for him.
I know, right?
Did you watch the Olympics at all?
I was actually at Able with Kathleen on Saturday watching curling. That's intense. Don't laugh, man.
I've been watching it.
That shit's intense, man. That curling shit is watching the U.S. I was watching the U.S.
Norway?
No, they were dominating Norway.
We lost to Norway.
No, they won. They won against Norway Saturday. Was there another round?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we lost. That's why Norway moved on. They played China.
Must have been the next round.
They were beating China. Yeah, Norway. Yeah, I saw them. They were kicking ass. They
that husband-wife team?
No, they're brother and sister.
Are they brother and sister?
Yes, they're brother and sister.
Okay. I thought they were husband and wife. I had no sound.
Like Mario.
Dude, I turned to Kat. I'm like, could you be married to that mustache? Because, like I said, I thought they were husband and wife. And she's like, no.
No, they're brother and sister. That Hamilton.
Yeah. I was watching them beat Norway because Norway conceded the game.
Oh, maybe.
So they must have gone in the next round.
What? Oh, maybe. Yeah, I wonder how that works then. Maybe they didn't lose. I just saw Norway playing China.
Curling.
Dude, they were sliding it so fast. Like, they were just like, king. I fucking love it. I think next year, instead of doing the beard competition,
does the scrubbing?
I think we should do a curling tournament.
Yeah, we'll put that on the docket. So does the scrubbing slow down?
Speeds
I know
it up.
It speeds it up?
Speeds it up.
I thought it slowed it down.
Speeds it up. So what you're doing is you're creating friction, which melts the ice.
And makes it
so
slick.
that smooth granite spot is riding on water. Just a small stream of coasting water, so it glides. That's
what I thought, was to make it go faster and direct it. Like you groove the ice, basically. But when they were coming into the target, they're like, oh, they got to slow this down. And he's like scrubbing the ice like vigorously. And like it'd get right to the thing and bump. Oh, yeah, maybe that's it. He says create a divot in the ice so it stops when you scrub like that. Yeah. Maybe that's it. But yes, I am watching it. Did you see the figure skater?
I did not.
The male figure skater for the U.S. They're saying he got screwed because the two guys he took bronze and the two guys who finished in front of him fell. Both of them fell on their routines because his routine technically was not as hard or as difficult. So apparently it didn't get him enough points, but I thought it was bullshit that the other two fell and he took silver. Come on. I mean, silver at least. One of those dudes fell.
Yeah, if they touch ice with their hands, then that's an issue.
No, we're talking straight ass. Oh, like they went all the way down on these two. I saw the replays of them and I'm like, that dude like nailed his not so hard routine. He should have taken at least silver. I'll agree with you on that. I've been watching a lot of the biathlon where they cross-country ski and then they lay down and shoot targets. Yeah. I haven't caught any of that. I did see the highlights from the...
my daughter wants to watch the luge.
The Korea... Switzerland? I think it was Korea-Switzerland hockey game. Female.
I watched the U.S. versus Finland hockey game. Whew. The women, god damn, bro.
Dude, there's some snipes.
Fast and intense, and we were up, 2-1 last night? I don't remember what it finished at. They ended up 3-1.
Damn, the U.S. did?
Yeah, dude, they were smoking them. But they moved so fast, and, like, their passing was clean. I'm like, man, these girls are like, that's why I sent you guys that text. Like, I better than watching, like, the NHL on some of them.
Some of them.
Like
did you see the Korea? Well, I guess it was historic because the Korea team had both North and South.
Yeah.
And it was like the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
But did you see the Korean cheerleaders? It was like
it was like from
50,
the north.
Yeah, it was like 50 of them all in unison, like doing this cheer for them. And then there's like, if you look closely, there's like one dude sitting on the end just trying to like keep up.
No, I think it's an interesting thing that dumbass.
Boom. Thanks God for the grooves.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I don't have a fucking towel or anything right now, so you're good. I think the one thing that is good is that the sister is there to deal with it, and I know Kim Jong-un has at least told the. Can you hand me? There's like a cloth bag underneath there somewhere. Not the leather one. There should be a cloth one. Has invited the president of South Korea up to...
That it?
Yep. That works. Do that for now. For talks. And as much as I don't want to admit, you got to admit that some of it Trump had to do. Because I'm sure the Kim Jong-un's looking at like, all right, I can't deal with this fucking guy anymore. Like, let's figure some shit out. Or maybe he's just doing it on his own accord. And it'll be like...
I think he's trying to look like the less jackass.
Less like a jackass? Good. Yeah. Whatever it takes. That's what I get to, bro. It's fine. I'll watch it.
North and South Korea join forces in the Olympics.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Like, they should. I think Mike Pence is a fucking dick. When she was there and she came in and everybody was like greeting her or whatever, he just like sat there stoic with that like, I want to suck dick face. Like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like, don't. Whatever your fucking difficulties are, like, you're there for the unity. That's what the Olympics are. Yes, it's a competitive thing to see who can get the most golds and whatever it's turned into. But it's also a time to bring everybody together. And if, we had wars that were actually the Olympics, I'd be all right with that. Like, settle shit that way through that. I mean,
through competition.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you really can't. Settle down.
I don't know what's going on.
You got a cannon, not the glass.
Yeah.
It's fucking you all up. But I get like sometimes war has to happen. There's no way to avoid it, and
it's the only thing that both sides understand.
Right, and if it has to happen, then it has to happen. But it doesn't have to happen first.
Right.
Like, you should exhaust every option and just being a dick about it. I don't know.
Did you hear about
I'm
Trump's,
not a fan of Pence anyways.
one of his head guys resigned?
A bunch of them resigned.
Well, a lot of almost. Do you know he has the highest turnover rate of anybody?
Yeah,
any president or like the government official for the U.S. in the people that he's brought in.
That should say something to you.
That should say a lot to you.
When
it shouldn't have taken this long, but
a business is only as good as its leadership. And if you want to treat America like a business, then we're only as good as our leadership. And if you have the people, like if it was a kitchen in a restaurant, he's the executive chef. If you have your sous chef, your line cook, your fry cook, your fucking salad prep, all those people jumping ship and you're having to hire new ones, then there's fucking issues at the top.
Right.
Like,
well, my thing was, was it today? No, yesterday. He came out because you know why the guy resigned, right? Both his ex-wife, both of his ex-wives came out and said the same thing, like that he beat him, and he came out in support of the guy, saying that maybe what they were saying wasn't as much true as they were saying it, and it's kind of like. And then the next day, which was today, he took a swipe at this whole Me Too movement, which I'm not going to get into this because this is a whole nother fucking hour about the Me Too movement. I mean, I'm in support. Good for them. More power to them if this is what's really going on for you. I mean, it's an awful lot of flooding of people coming out, but I guess that's what a movement is. No woman should have to go through that or do that to advance in a job or to get a job, but to take a swipe after that, after one of your head dudes just resigned on his own. It's not like he got fired. He like, this is some shit. I think we
because you're gonna catch the fucking press. I mean, it's.
But then he comes out in support of the guy, saying, who cares if he beat his wives? I guess. I mean.
But was that what he was saying? See,
the way he said it
as much as I don't support it, see, this is where I think,
and that's where he took the swipe at the Me Too movement.
He doesn't know how to speak tactfully.
He barely knows how to read.
Right?
Did you see his teleprompter?
He doesn't read. He likes to go things off the cuff. He doesn't. It's in his book, The Art of the Deal. He doesn't like to prep for stuff. He doesn't like to read. He just wants everything fed to him, and then he'll take it from there. And just a lot of stuff is off the cuff.
I've heard.
I just go by
I don't know
my instincts and my gut. But a lot of the thing with the Me Too movement is where it's been flooding and like
very sad.
Like anything, you're gonna have people that abuse the system, whether it's drugs, whether it's a hammer, whether it's anything. You're gonna have those people that go, yeah, well, he touched my shoulder, man. I'm a part of it. You're gonna have people that abuse that
Terry
line
Crews
of
should,
thinking.
It might be a little jarring to hear
Crews
the
should start
president
hashtagging Me
defend
Too.
someone accused of beating two of his ex-wives.
I mean, he did get
It's
his
not
junk
entirely
grabbed by a producer.
surprising. The president has a track record of defending
No, and
men
I'm sure
accused of abuse or harassment. For
it sucks to be in that position when it's your job, and I'm not. People shouldn't be treated that way.
Never.
And we'll get through that with all this. And I don't think any of this would have been possible, like I said, without Trump being president.
Or Hugh Hefner dying.
Or Hugh Hefner dying in the force field of the Jedi.
And she's grabbing me.
Yeah.
Because everybody's a Jedi.
That Playboy mansion, I'm telling you, keeps some dark, dirty skeletons in some closets down there. There is some dirty stuff that has gone down that is not coming to the light of day yet.
Imagine the cleanup on that.
I bet you they hire like an entire they have the whole Playboy cleaning crew. That's all their job is, just change sheets, and nasty, dirty sheets all the time.
It doesn't help. Let's wrap this up. I'm going to ask you: would you rather have the only thing that you can watch is Tom Cruise?
I don't think Bill would do anything.
Or
anything Tom Cruise?
Sorry, Top Gun.
Just Top Gun on
Just Top Gun. No matter what you watch, whether it's a movie, TV show, YouTube,
it's always Top Gun.
Always Top Gun. or you can only, no matter what you listen to, whether it's a podcast or an audio book or the radio or music on Pandora, you can only listen to Danger Zone.
The song Danger Zone?
Yeah.
Kenny Loggins? Oh, bro, I don't know. That's a tough one. Because no matter what, you got to listen to it. I have that on Rock Band. It's fun to play.
Danger Zone. Oh, we
Some
should
are doing
live
it
stream
for
We should live
probably
stream
a little
that.
fame. They get some free
Damn.
fame. It's a total setup.
I
People that are
think
willing to say, "Oh, I was with Donald Trump
this is
in
wow.
1980.
I think I'm gonna
I
go
was
with.
sitting with him on an airplane."
I'm gonna go with Top Gun on a
And he
loop.
went after
Like if I
me.
had to, if everything I watched was Top Gun, I think I would have to go with that. Oh man, I can't listen to Danger. You know what it is? That's an
You can
hour and a
listen
half
to it
movie.
like 3 songs.
Yeah, I could listen to Danger Zone like 3 times in a row, and I'm like, turn it off. Yeah, I think I'd go with Top Gun on a loop.
Sound guy Lenny?
A lot of good scenes in the movie, but yeah, I'd have to go with Top Gun.
Nobody wants to listen to.
And on that note,
They killed that song when it came out.
Yeah, I need my podcast, so I'll probably
with the boys.
I'll probably definitely be watching Top Gun on a loop and actually learn to read a lot of books because
Can we mute it? Because music you can't mute.
But you get that's a good point.
Because then there's no point in like turning on a podcast.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to just flip on the
can't
TV and put mute.
You gotta watch the movie.
Yeah, I could tune the movie out.
It'd be so funny. You're out with Kathleen. She's like, "Hey, did you see this new movie that came out?" Yeah, but have you seen Top Gun?
She would hate me.
Why
do you play these games?
This ending is brought to you by the Bigger Bots.
Bigger Bots.
Have fun.
Cheers.
Cheers, sir. Sound guy Lenny, sign us off.
Good night.